October 25th, 2000, the eve of the launch of Sony's successor to the breakout hit that was the PlayStation. However, the PlayStation 2 had the opportunity to become even more successful. In addition to Sony's 6 years' experience as a console manufacturer, third-party support from beloved developers like Square Enix and Konami, and the expectations from fans of even more immersive titles,
just having an arcade inside your room, maybe even better than arcade graphics in your room.
One of the 29 titles releasing the following day would subtly influence the gaming landscape for decades. Fantavision was not that title, but Midnight Club was. While games like Armored Core 2, Time Splitters, and Tekken Tag Tournament would similarly go on to impact their respective action, FPS, and fighting game genres, Midnight Club was, more impressively, a ripoff of Midtown Madness for PC. Well, technically, Angel Studios developed both games, but the similarities were uncanny once you booted them both up. Following in Midtown Madness's footsteps, Midnight Club was an open-world racing game taking place not on a circuit racetrack, but in the heart of the city. The former city being Chicago, and the latter being both New York and London. However, while Midtown Madness focused on civilian cars like the Volkswagen Beetle and Ford F350, Midnight Club drew upon the increasingly popular Japanese street racing and tuning scene, with cars like the Nissan Skyline and Honda Civic being inspirations for the vehicles, and all races in the career mode taking place at night. So in retrospect, while the game could have looked much better than it actually does, especially if you compare them to games released around the same time, the style and ambience for the game makes up for its graphical limitations in spades. The same cannot be said for Swing Away Golf, or the actual gameplay. As a young homunculus, I only ever played the cruise mode, which allowed you to drive around and explore both New York City and London to their full extent. There's also a waypoint mode that allows you to complete races around both cities. However, the main draw of the game was the career mode. Dropping you in as a lowly Uber driver, you aim to work your way up the ranks of the New York racing scene before challenging the city champion. Each win in a race allows you access to the driver's car, giving you a greater variety of choices in terms of speed, acceleration, and handling for the next race. The narrowness of the city streets also allows for multiple strategies, as sometimes you may want a car with high speed to leave your opponents in the dust in the straightaways, or maybe you want to try one with high acceleration so you don't lose speed as you finagle your way through multiple hairpin turns. Things heat up even more after New York, as you're forced to learn the streets of London in order to beat their city champ. However, both cities have tons of shortcuts through back alleys and windows, over ramps, and under tunnels, and quite often the other racers are not afraid to take them. So taking the most logical route might not always be the fastest. After beating both city champs, you're faced with the world champ, a mysterious helmeted racer named Anika. After beating her, you become the first person to see her face, as well as the world champion street racer. This is all very fine and dandy until you start actually taking the game seriously, because, good lord, this game does not want you to beat it.
Mira, pa allá va, bye-bye, say bye-bye to the big man, Emilio!
First off, finding your way to the finish line can be just as challenging as getting there first. Not every race follows the point A to point B formula 99% of racing games follow. Instead, some races have you essentially choose the order in which you reach each checkpoint. Additionally, most of the drivers on the streets of Midnight Club, including the racers, are either drunk or completely incompetent. I've won several races due to a racer crashing into oncoming traffic or a brick wall, and I've lost just as many by racers or even civilians swerving into me, causing us both to crash. There's cops in the game too, but by video game logic, you're the only one breaking the law, so they focus all their attention on you, resulting in a traffic jam if you're not quick enough. Lastly, my biggest gripe is no matter how good a car's handling is, it still handles like a trash bag in an ice rink. Grass, gravel, even gentle curves can cause you to lose control or spin out and restart the race. However, nothing is more frustrating, evil, or as big of an obstacle to your success in the game than the lampposts. In most games, you can drive right through them, and that's it. Maybe they slow you down, maybe they even damage your car a little bit, but they're an object in the scenery nevertheless. However, in Midnight Club, if you hit a lamppost, no matter if you're turning or not, you have a high likelihood of spinning out. I don't know why this is, I don't know how this is, but it is. And it gets even worse in the later races. If you're turning and you hit a lamppost, if you're drifting and you hit a lamppost, if you're off-roading and you hit a lamppost, you will spin out, or at the very least completely lose control of your car. This is compounded by the poor handling I mentioned earlier. If you're racing down a street with a ton of lampposts, and there are tons of cars, unless you slow down, you'll likely bump into either the former or the latter, and you definitely don't want the former. But if you bump into the latter, sooner or later your car is going to damage out. Yeah, I didn't even mention that. Your car can go completely dead if you crash too many times, and different cars have different health bars. Like the truck obviously has a lot of health, but the smaller compact cars might as well have nothing at all, especially the endgame cars. Hit one lamppost and you can say goodbye to your win and goodbye to your car. So why does it sound like I hate this game more than I hate Eternal Ring? Well, I don't hate this game, and I don't think I ever could. The style of this game is unmatched in many ways. Sure, the visuals aren't great. Sure, the AI is more brain damaging than ChatGPT. Sure, the controls might as well have been designed by two ants fighting over an Oreo crumb. And sure, the story and characters are less interesting than that analogy. Except for Emilio, of course.
I'm the tear, baby. I'm a little sweat drop right over your butt. I'm coming right behind you. I'm right behind you, Papa.
But the feeling of racing in the streets of a big city at midnight against world-class drivers is there. The neon lights reflecting off the roof of your car, the speed as you fly past landmarks like Big Ben and Times Square, the achievement when you finally beat that jackass that's been taunting you for the past 30 minutes and take their car. These are the moments when all of those little flaws don't matter to me. These are the moments when you can truly see the masterpiece that the developers at Angel Studios were capable of if they were just given a bit more time to truly hone their craft and actually make a game that changed the gaming world. Not guessing though.